Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy Dangerous Duke,
And your boy, Stevie Jobber.
and welcome to the Dangerous Jobbers podcast. And for the next 15 minutes, we're running a segment called The Dark Match.
People have been asking me
to be the best in the world.
why, Eddie, why?
I'm better than you.
My eyes are red. I was in the back smoking a joint with Van Damme.
You know it.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Dangerous Jobbers podcast. And today we are doing another dark match fill in the blank episode. Man, we ain't do one of these in a while, man.
No, we definitely haven't. And we always have fun doing it too. So I don't know why we haven't done it in a while.
Yeah, we're gonna do a slew of these ones that we haven't done in a while, man. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it. Do you wanna flip a coin? Who wants to go first, man?
You know what? How about we let you go first on this one? You could. I feel like I went first the last time. I might have. I don't remember because it's been so long. But either way, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, man. All right, so my first one right off the bat is I feel, let me say this right, because the way I say it matters.
Okay.
I wish they never let blank lose to blank.
I wish they never let blank lose to blank. Hmm. Okay, you know what? We're gonna go back a little bit for this one, not too far, but we're gonna go back. I wish they never let Nakamura lose to AJ Styles at WrestleMania.
I'm not mad about that. That's
I,
actually
I,
a really good one. I agree with you 100%.
I had to think about that one for a little bit. I was stuck between two, but that one ultimately because I feel like from that point on, that's kind of what shot Nakamura in the foot going forward because the heel turn didn't even feel right. It wasn't nothing's added up since then. So for me, that's my pick. I wish they never let Nakamura lose to AJ Styles at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't know if we talked about it at length in the pod, but it really changed the trajectory of his career, that loss to AJ at Mania.
Yeah,
I
it's like
agree. He
he
definitely should have went over.
never recovered. All right. So for you, sir, blank needs a big push in 2024.
Um, I have two names in my head.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of which one I don't want to say deserves it more. Ricochet. I'm going to say Ricochet. Ricochet deserves a push in 2024 because everyone else is kind of getting elevated. And for most of these people, it's a re elevation.
Mm-hmm.
But Ricochet never really got his just due. He had a great, I want to say, spotlight with Logan Paul,
Mm-hmm.
but it would be a better stamp. And I don't know if this is going to happen. It may happen now that Kevin is hurt. Who knows? But I feel like they definitely built a story with Logan Paul where they could circle back to Ricochet and Logan Paul for the United States Championship.
Okay.
And I feel like that's a real moment you could have Ricochet go over without anybody being too upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that be a good way to give Ricochet his just due is making him a workhorse because that United States title is a lot like the Intercontinental title in the way that it's a workhorse championship on the right guy.
Yeah.
I feel like you give Ricochet a good push in 2024 on a United States title run, it might elevate him by the end of that run to where we feel like he should be in regards to his peers.
Mm-hmm. I can agree.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Ricochet. I'm gonna go with Ricochet.
Not mad with that pick in the slightest. I actually kind of applaud it.
So mine for you, I feel like blank is getting lost in the shuffle soon. So kind of uh, um, a 180 from your question. Yours is who should get a push. Who do you feel is getting lost in the shuffle very soon?
Um, you know what? Getting lost in the shuffle. I'm gonna say two people because it's a team. Um, DIY is gonna be getting lost in the shuffle very soon, and I feel like they're gonna get lost in the shuffle mainly because they're not going to be utilized the same how they were in NXT as a tag team on the main roster. NXT tag teams, especially when they just come back together, kind of don't really get booked the right way. And
Mm-hmm.
then you got all these other teams like the, they're going to start showcasing the New Day more. The Creed brothers are going to be around. Um, Alpha Academy is always going to get some shine because they're just an entertaining team. Then you
Mm-hmm.
got Judgment Day leading the way. So I feel like DIY could be one of those teams that just gets lost in the sauce or lost in the shuffle. So I think DIY is going to be that pick.
I will hope not, man, but I could definitely see your thinking in that. Just kind of seeing the response to their return, which felt like it was well waited for, and then once we got it, I don't know. I think it's because when they were DIY the first time, and even when they broke up for a while, they were the biggest deal,
Mm-hmm.
right? When they were DIY, NXT at the time was able to put on a show where takeovers were main evented by the tag teams.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel weird. It felt appropriate. So for the tag team division now on the main roster to be in kind of a renaissance and trying to get back to what the tag team division should be,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't feel like the DY reuniting now is, yeah, it just doesn't feel like it's going to go the same way.
Yeah. It feels like they're going to get lost in the shuffle because there's so many other like entertaining aspects and even just better teams in general.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tougher. It's tougher for sure. All right, man. I'm hyped. Give me my next one. Give me my next one.
The best entrance music of 2023 goes to blank.
The best entrance music of 2023. Oh, I don't know, man. Who had the best entrance music of 2023? I'm trying to think of.
I had someone in mind, but mine wasn't. This might be a giveaway, but mine wasn't a WWE guy.
It wasn't a WWE theme.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be WWE, right? I have to remember that. Who had the best theme this year? Was the Ass Boys entrance this year when they did the 50 Cent remix?
Yes,
That's my pick then.
that's your pick.
That's my pick then.
That was a very good one.
I was because that changed the trajectory of their career.
Yeah,
Them
it kind
having
of
that
did.
entrance changed the trajectory of their career.
Okay,
But
all right, I can
yeah,
respect that.
ass boys, bang bang gang, so inappropriate,
Oh man,
so inappropriate. Oh, it's hilarious. Okay,
all right, I'm ready for you.
my question for you is: if I could pick my sleeper right now for WrestleMania, it would be blank versus blank. Call your shot right now. What do you see being your sleeper match at WrestleMania?
Just a match at WrestleMania.
Just a match. Call any match. That's probably your sleeper.
Um, a match at WrestleMania. See, I feel like that one would be an obvious match, so I don't want to say that one. Um,
I mean, if it's a match you think is not going to be the main event, but it's still going to be a good match, then I'll take that.
okay, so mm, you know what? Just because you touched on it and you brought this name up, a sleeper match at WrestleMania, Logan Paul versus Ricochet.
Oh, okay. See,
Because
that's a good one.
I feel like they could circle back to that and make it a match at WrestleMania.
I feel like
And
they could too. I don't.
and
I
I
don't
feel
really
like
know who they have for Logan at Mania.
I think Ricochet would be the perfect one because you check a lot of boxes with that. You
Mhm.
get Logan a lengthy U.S. title run. He's not going to defend the title much. He's going to be a part-time champion, so we have to deal with that for a while. You get Ricochet a push in the process. He's an Eagles fan, so him winning a title
In
in Philly
Philly,
in the stadium of the team he's a fan of,
I already
and
got
then
a storyline with Samantha Irving that's still there.
yeah, so it works out perfect. You know, he gets his moment in the sun, winning the title on the grandest stage of them all.
Hmm.
So I mean, Ricochet would be a great Ricochet and Logan Paul at Mania 40 night one. I would like that.
Night one, right? Night one.
I would
I
take that.
dig that. I dig that. I'd be here for that. Do you think Logan's night one? I think Logan could be night one.
Yeah, I would say that.
I think Logan could be night one. We'll discuss who's probably night one and night two, but I like that as a sleeper.
Right. It's not a bad
Yeah,
one.
yeah. I think mine would have been Jade and Bianca,
See, I was gonna say Jade
but
and
that's the
Charlotte.
obvious one.
I
Oh,
was
Jade
gonna
and
say
Charlotte.
I was gonna say Jade and Charlotte.
Mm. That's the one they planted, but I think Bianca's the one that people want.
I wouldn't be mind with it. I wouldn't mind it. Um Blank needs to go back to the drawing board.
Blank needs to go back to the drawing board. Hmm. He needs to go back to the drawing board. I'm trying to think of who's not working. Because I would say the Viking Raiders, but at the same time, one of them's hurt.
Hmm.
And I don't actually think they need to go back to the drawing board. I just think they need to gather some wins. I don't think there's anything wrong with their character except for the fact that they're not winning.
Hmm.
So I don't want to say the Viking Raiders. Is there anybody in NXT that needs to go back to the drawing board? Um, I like what Corbin's doing. I like what Braun's doing. Is there anybody in Impact that might need to go back to the drawing board? Um, I like everything everybody's doing,
And
man.
it doesn't even need to be a character change. It could just be like tweaks in certain things that they're doing.
Oh, I should pick somebody from AEW. Duh. Who needs to go back to the drawing board in AEW? You know who needs to go back to the drawing board in AEW? Darby Allin.
Really?
Yeah, something's wrong. Something's wrong. You've been a pillar since day one. It's been how many years?
Mm-hmm.
You've only ever been TNT champion. I mean, I feel like as far as career, and not to say career moments and career achievements, I feel like Sammy Guevara has you beat by like a mile, and it shouldn't even be that close. Like
Mm-hmm.
he shouldn't be so far ahead because Darby was so much more over at the start of AEW.
Yeah.
And I feel like through lack of a general efficient system, they ruin all I don't even want to say ruin because I feel like Darby at any moment could take back off. It's just if somebody came up with a story and a dedicated through line to get Darby over in anything other than killing himself every match and fighting jerks. To be honest, I feel like if you put Darby with, you really could have had something with Darby and Jack Perry. You
Mm-hmm.
really could have had something with Darby teaming with Orange Cassidy for a bit because they could have been yin and yang. And I actually would have loved that as a tag team. I don't know, but something new. He needs to go back to the drawing board. There's no reason you should be where you're at as far as your career, your AEW career, when you were so over, then you got Sting, then you fought Punk. Why are you not
What's
in
not
the
sticking?
world championship consideration?
Yeah, like what's
I
not
looked at
sticking?
you as world champion material your first year in AEW. Remember, we were all very confident that he would be champion when he was going at it with Chris Jericho, and
Mm-hmm.
he was giving everybody a run for their money.
We were all very much on the Darby bandwagon.
He's a main eventer, man. Why have you not been main eventing? What's going on? Why did we have to wait till MJF had nothing left but to address the pillars
Very
for you
true.
to come out of the woodwork and get a shot? You know what I mean? Like, just doesn't make sense. Just doesn't make sense.
I agree.
And another 180, since you're asking who needs to go back to the drawing board on the opposite end.
Mm-hmm.
Your question is, or your fill in the blank is, I've never been a bigger fan of blank than I am right now.
Never been a bigger fan of blank than I am right now. See, I don't want to give obvious ones.
It's
Honestly,
okay, man. I mean,
you
if
know
it's
what?
for you.
I'll give an obvious one. Jay Uso,
Yeah.
because Jay, nobody like when the Usos were together. I'm pretty sure a vast majority of the people thought that of the two, Jimmy was gonna be the one that, if there was ever one of them that could win a singles title, it was
Hmm.
probably gonna be Jimmy. Jimmy was always the more charismatic one. Jimmy was always the one that could talk better, we thought. And then even when Jay was hurt for that little bit of time, Jimmy got the IC title match. Didn't win it, but he still got the match. And he did fairly well in the match by himself. Um, but however, on the flip side of that coin, now that they're separated and doing their own thing, Jay hasn't missed with anything when it comes to, talking on the mic, being backstage doing his segments, having his singles matches. Jay really hasn't missed on anything that he's done since this breakup. And if, you know, the turn of events would lead to him winning the Rumble, going to Mania, challenging for a title potentially, I would not be upset with Jay winning in the slightest. I would actually push for Jay to win, whether he's fighting Seth, Roman, or whoever is the champ at that time. So right now, I don't think I've been more of a fan of Jay Uso than I am.
Isn't that amazing?
It is. It speaks volumes to how much a person can improve and how much a person can actually showcase if they're given the opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I feel like every time they're giving him a shot, he showed up since the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Since
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
pandemic. I mean, I was a huge fan of him during the pandemic, but to see that he was able to break away from what made you love him so much,
Yes.
and him to still like it warms my heart when he comes out in something that's not related to the bloodline on his own and still controls the crowd when he
Yeah.
shows up, because it's like, man, he's not just over for the story, like he's just over.
You
You know
know
what I
what it
mean? He
reminds me
is
of?
main event Jey Uso.
It reminds me very much of Daniel Bryan in the sense
Mm,
of, even if Daniel was in a tag team or in a storyline or whatever, he could still make people just forget about the story and had the people doing whatever he wanted. Like how Daniel was
hmm
always having the people go like this. Jay
hmm
now has the people going like this. Like
hmm
it.
It is
He,
that kind of crowd control. Yeah, it's that kind
he's
of
done.
movement feeling.
He has done very well with his crowd control. I'm very proud.
I think that's a great parallel, man. I think that's a great parallel. All right,
Uh,
what do you got one more for me?
I have two more for
Oh, let's go. I got two more for you.
you. Blank is a superstar you'd least want to date your sister.
All right, let me think about this. Um, Blank is the superstar I'd least want to date my sister.
Yeah, I don't know what made me think of that question, but
I'd least
it's
want to
there.
date my sister.
It's out in the open. Go ahead. I feel like I should have asked this one earlier.
I'd least want to date my sister. All right, I'll give you a funny one. Um, oh no. We're having fun. Who cares? Brock Lesnar,
Okay.
because 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 if he's a jerk, what am I supposed to do about that? What am I supposed to do about
Right.
that?
Okay.
Oh shoot! Hopefully, pops don't fly down on me just now. I just hit the Brock Lesnar.
Oh, that would
But
have been
yeah, no.
funny.
What would you do? Like, what are you doing if Brock Lesnar's like a dick to your little sister that day? You know, like, what are you doing?
Uh-huh.
What are you realistically about to do?
Big brother,
Go
my
through a wall?
boyfriend being mean to me. He over here yelling at me and throwing stuff at me. I'm coming
He's
on my
also
way, right?
6'6" and 300 pounds. I don't
I'm
know.
on my way right now. And then you see Brock, and it's like, oh,
Yeah, yeah.
he gonna
You
throw
see
me
this
around.
man the size of two doorways outside waiting for you.
Oh man.
You know
You,
what I mean?
you know
You
what?
hear him on the phone going, "Call your brother. Tell him I'll be outside waiting for him." You know what I mean? You
Excuse me,
you on
sir.
your who does he think he talking to? Do you pull up and see this big?
You pull up, you see him standing outside. You just go around the block a couple times. I ain't see nobody.
You on the phone calling her back? Who is outside of your house right now?
I don't see nobody out here.
That's him. That's my man. Is he behind the white dude? What's going on?
This is a frost giant from Thor done come to life. You ain't tell me
Who
I was
told you
fighting
today,
somebody.
Thor?
You ain't tell me I was fighting somebody from Game of Thrones. Like, damn.
Jesus,
Taking
man.
my ass back to Morador. We not doing this.
Mm-mm.
You know
You
what?
had me fighting a warlock out here.
Since you said Brock, I'm gonna give an answer for this one too, just
Mhm.
out of fairness and sincerity, and it's probably gonna be a funny one. The wrestler I'd least want to date my sister, Rhea Ripley. Multiple reasons involved. Same thing. Like, what am I gonna do to Rhea Ripley? You see how she be out here just bullying Kevin Owens and bullying Sami Zayn. You see how she bullied Dom. What's Rhea gonna do to me? And then not
Mm-mm.
only that, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a sibling divide here because the siblings gonna be fighting over.
Right? The jealousy at Thanksgiving. It's heavy. It's
We
heavy.
gonna be fighting. Siblings is gonna be fighting at Thanksgiving.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. You can't be
Okay.
overexcited about none of her entrances no more. That's
Nope.
it. That's a wrap for that. You can't smile too hard at nothing. You better watch it.
Imagine me fight. Imagine me and my siblings fighting over Rhea.
Right?
My
That's
siblings' significant others will probably be fighting over Rhea Ripley.
you can't
And,
say nothing,
and,
man.
and you
She looked
laughing
great tonight. Oh, did she? Oh, she did, huh? Oh,
and you laughing because you know it's true.
that is too funny, man.
All
That
right,
is
well,
too
go
funny.
ahead.
I mean, it's essentially the same.
Go ahead. You get your next one in because that
All right, all right. Um, yours is our truth and blank would be magic.
R Truth and blank would be magic.
Mm.
Okay. R Truth and Imperium would be magic.
An Imperium.
Yes, because I can see Imperium just being like so deadly serious and R Truth just being so like over the top stupid that it's just going to be hilarious the whole time Gunther tries to say something or Kaiser tries to say something. R Truth just replies right back and he just says something hilarious. And then even in the ring, I feel like R Truth and Kaiser would make a great match. And then R Truth and Gunther, R Truth would be like the perfect crash test dummy for Gunther.
That's true. I feel like that would. I feel like that'd be a perfect way to write it. Can I offer up an in?
Mm-hmm.
The end should be our truth wanting to be a part of Imperium because I can just imagine the promo of like Gunther going up to Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci as they're like lined up in a wall doing that Imperium
Mm-hmm.
stance
The pose,
and
yep.
our truth being like the third guy off camera and Gunther being like, "What are you doing?" He's like, I want to be part of your part of your troop, sir." He was like, "This is not a troop. What are you get
He
out of
just
here?"
says something stupid.
Just so stupid. And then he ends up like, "All right, well, if I can't be a part of your group, then I'm gonna take Imperium down by myself." And then everybody laughs, and he's just that's a few weeks right there.
Mm-hmm.
He fights Kaiser, somehow beats Kaiser, then beats Vinci, and then just gets demolished by Gunther.
Yep.
That'd be solid though, because you could have a solid match with Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci, but have the win be like a roll up or something, like some happenstance or cheating going wrong, and R-Truth wins, and then R-Truth just gets squashed by.
I could see it. I could see it.
That'd be sick.
I just feel like they would be hilarious.
That would be so sick. Because
Um,
everyone going into it might be like, "Yo, Are they really gonna let our truth like get over? Like, are they gonna let him like have a really good standing against Gunther? And it's like, nah. There's no way. There's no way. It'd be too funny. It'd be too. If that's one squash, I would be absolutely okay with, because the build would just be hilarious. Hilarious. That's a great one. All right. Give me a last.
All right, my last one. Blank should leave blank and go to blank.
And Paige should leave AEW and come home.
That was quick. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. The women's division in AEW is trash.
Okay.
Not the women in AEW, but the women's division, the way they run it,
Yeah, I was gonna say the
garbage.
booking, the writing.
Garbage.
It's
There's no way her reign should have been so underappreciated and so fast. It was almost like as soon as they got it, they kind of changed their mind, which is, I won't get into it, but I feel like if Punk can come home and be received that well,
Silk and Sheik.
if Randy's return can be as monumental as it was and respected, like, we're not really, this isn't Vince's era. If you're coming in now, you're coming in because we want you here and we're going to use you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And use you to your worth. Unless, of course, you're one of my kids, then it just depends on where you fit in. But you know what I mean? But like, as far as somebody like Paige coming in as Paige is going to be so highly regarded, because you got to remember, before the Four Horsewomen, there was only Paige. So essentially, that'd be almost as big as Punk coming back. Not in, market sale or marketability wise, but as far as like what Paige meant for the generation that's there now.
Yeah.
Punk is like that for the generation we have right now. So Paige's return will be just as well respected.
I can see that.
And because she came before so many people, she's liable to be able to credibly beat anyone at the top,
Mm-hmm.
which makes her marketability in that field so much higher, so much more appreciated. I'll say it like this to keep it short because we got to move on. I feel like Paige coming back would have around the same effect that Cody returning would.
Okay.
And the way that she would be so much more well received and appreciated here that she would almost immediately become number 2.
Okay.
That's how I feel about Paige leaving AEW and coming here. As
Not
far
a,
as the transfer of power ranking, I'll say that.
okay. I was saying that's not a bad assessment.
And then my last one for you.
Mm-hmm.
This is a funny one. So everyone's upset about, or some people are upset or on the fence about seeing Punk coming back, but you would really be mad if blank showed up. So just to reiterate,
Mm-hmm.
everyone's mad about Punk coming back, but you'd really be mad if blank returned.
Hulk Hogan.
Got his stuff in this thing. Yo, that's a good one. Hulk
Hulk
Hogan.
Hogan.
Off the bat, no thought about it.
No.
I love
Hulk
that.
Hogan. I mean, there's two
I
people
love
in
that.
mind, but the second guy has pissed me off a lot less than the first one.
Mm.
Hulk Hogan, yeah, no, there's not a single solitary thing I enjoy about Hulk Hogan. I didn't like him as a kid. I didn't like him. I don't like him as an adult. Didn't get the character. Didn't get the banana hammock trunks, the spray tan, the wannabe suburban commando. I don't. There was nothing I liked about Hogan. I didn't like him in Impact. Nothing.
I
You
enjoy that we're still strong on the fuck Hulk Hogan train.
yeah, no. Now I understand why Iron Sheik hated him all these years. Like I didn't like him, but I understand why Sheik hated him all the years he was alive.
Hmm.
The dude did nothing of relevance. He held the title for eight some odd years, did nothing with it. You beating Nash and with the finger poke of doom after Nash squashed Goldberg is basically what started the decline of WCW. You went to Impact just to collect a check and really did nothing of relevance over there. And then
Yeah,
on top of that, you're just a racist bastard. It's so I don't fuck with you. Sorry, Hogan got to go. I think I just buried Hogan unintentionally, but is this what you wanted me to do?
I didn't know you were gonna go with Hogan, but I
Well, it
can't
was.
disagree.
Look, I'm
I,
gonna be
I
honest.
pleasantly, I can't even like when people disagree with anything. Like, listen, I'll put it this way: even MJF was like against Hulk Hogan the person.
Yeah, like
As much credit as MJF would give to what he did to the industry, he still was like, well, people don't like him because he's a bigoted and a racist, and he's a terrible human being. But like, it just is what it is. So
yeah, like don't get me wrong. I mean, there's probably I'm sure there's wrestlers who do or have some fucked up viewpoints, but as talent goes, you still wouldn't mind seeing. Like Bret Hart has some fucked up viewpoints, but
I think that's the funny part too, right? Is that Hogan wasn't all that great of a wrestler
no, like
compared to the people of the day
yeah,
because he
like
was
there's
such a. I mean, and I don't want to give any Hogan any credit. Never mind.
no, there's really like
Never
no
mind. I'm not
type
going
of
to shoot him
credit
bail.
you could give. Like you weren't good as a wrestler. You weren't good on the mic. You were you're not good in any of the movies you did. You really did nothing good. You were just tall as hell, big as hell, and could collect a paycheck. That's really all you were good for.
Andre
I
should have won.
Andre should have won.
All right, all right, all right. That's enough trash. Hogan. That's
I think
that's enough trash. Hogan.
I think if we ever do another rant podcast, I feel like I just discovered who I'm going to
Yeah,
rant about.
that's definitely when you got tucked away deep in your heart to get
I
out.
didn't think it was there, but sure enough, it was there.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. If we start a Patreon and we get like and we have like a Patreon reward or like we hit a good subscriber number on YouTube, maybe I'll release my Hulk Hogan poem. I released a Hulk Hogan poem that I think anyone that shares Duke's viewpoints would love. But I mean, I don't know. It's got to be a reward of some sort. I
Yeah,
can't just give
right.
it to you guys for free. We got to hit like a number of subscribers or a certain number of people on Patreon or something.
I feel like that could be something we could do as like a reward. Like once a month, we just rant, or
Oh my god.
we just talk about
Yeah,
a specific
we just
wrestler.
shoot on a
We
specifically hated wrestler every
we
every
shoot
month on
on
Patreon.
a hated wrestler that the Patreon subscribers want us to talk about,
That'd be fire. That'd be fire.
and we could
And we'll
talk
let
about
them choose,
our
right?
viewpoints on it.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's totally wipe our hands of the situation and let them choose
This is what the
who
people
we
want to
trash
hear.
talk this month.
This is what y'all want to hear about. Okay, this is what we're going to talk about, and we do it in like 20 minutes or less.
Yeah, that would be fire. That would be fire. I'm starting that Patreon immediately.
We gonna get canceled for that, but it's all right because it's gonna be worth it.
And no, it'll be on Patreon, man. It'll be on Patreon.
Uh-huh.
Unless you had the Patreon, you don't even know that's a thing. You don't even know we do that. That'd be fire. All right, guys. Well, that's all the time.
Yeah,
That's all the
man.
time we got. I hope you like the fill in the blanks. If you did, if you got some of your own, leave them in the comments, man. I'll leave a question up on Spotify, and you got comments in the YouTube. So even on Facebook, because we'll probably put this on Facebook at some point, because it's a fill in the blank. If you got fill in the blanks, if you like this one, tell us what your favorite was. Tell us what your fill in the blank is. You know what we got to do? We got to start running these on stories on our IG stories or something.
Yes, that
Get some from the fans, you know.
But
that's all the time we have, guys. Duke, take us home. Give us the outro.
Ladies and gentlemen, you guys already know the deal. Thank you for tuning into this episode. I'm Dangerous Duke. That's Stevie Jobber over there. And ladies and gentlemen, this was The Dark Match.
People have been asking me,
To be the best in the world.
why, Eddie, why?